Before we begin, I would like to quickly just shout out the new With a Grain of Salt merch store that we just dropped. We currently have a mouse pad and a sticker out there for the 500 subscriber special, so thank you all for that. But yeah, let's get right into it. Welcome back to episode 2 of the SaltMound. I would like to tell you today we've got something interesting, kind of relevant, and interesting for the PC world, we'll definitely say. Before we begin, I'd like to quickly shout out all the links down below, the Discord, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, go check those out. Thank you. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and check out the Spud Shack and With the Grain of Salt other episodes. So, thank you. So right now, there's a lot of issues going on online. If you haven't seen videos or people talking about it before, right now, a lot of big name brand, a lot of RAM and GPU manufacturers are not only raising the prices of a lot of their products, but also just saying no more, and they're selling all of their product towards AI. And the internet does not like that. No one's liking that, okay? But today we're going to be kind of breaking down what's going on, negotiations, courtroom talks, and yeah, while executives negotiated supply and lawyers debated contract language, the effects of AI hardware slowdown spilled into the public sphere. First quietly, then loudly. Consumer frustration became data, and data became evidence. Online forums lit up months before mainstream coverage caught on. Posts titled, "Delayed Again," "Backorder Hell," and "Is This a Scam?" multiplied across hardware communities. At first, companies dismissed the complaints as residual supply chain disruption, but the volume told a different story. In sworn affidavits later attached to Consolidated Consumer lawsuit, buyers described waiting 6 to 9 months for graphics cards that had been advertised as in stock. One plaintiff wrote, "My order's status never changed. Support told me the shipment was imminent for 5 straight months." Internal service logs leaked by a former supporter contractor revealed scripted responses instructing representatives to use phrases like allocation realignment and unforeseen upstream constraints. Regardless of these actual cause, one internal note read, "Do not mention AI, enterprise contracts, or data centers." In depositions, customer support managers acknowledged that they were not allowed to disclose why consumer shipments were repeatedly deprioritized. "We were told transparency would create backlash," one manager testified. Backlash was already happening. Retailers found themselves caught in the middle. Small computer shops filed formal complaints with distributors after receiving partial shipments, sometimes a single unit from an order of 50. One shop owner in Illinois described receiving invoices for hardware that never even arrived. Quoted, "They told me the inventory existed," he said, "just not for me." Now, those claims surfaced in a 2025 state-level investigation into deceptive trade practices. While no criminal charges were filed, regulators concluded that marketing language had failed to reflect known material supply constraints. Gamers were not the only ones affected in this situation. Independent researchers, students, and freelancers filed complaints alleging that professional-grade GPUs advertised for workstation use were being diverted into enterprise buyers. After orders were placed, one graduate student testified that his university lab lost funding after months-long delays made deadlines impossible to meet. Now, public comments submitted to the Federal Trade Commission painted a consistent picture. One submission read, "It feels like consumers are subsidizing AI companies by being lied to." Behind the scenes, companies were tracking the backlash very carefully. A leaked internal slide deck titled Consumer Noise versus Strategic Growth categorized complaints as low financial risk. Another slide noted that consumer dissatisfaction did not materially impact enterprise valuation metrics. The conclusion was blunt: reputation impact is temporary, and revenue displacement is permanent. That calculation would soon be tested. Now, by late 2025, a coordinated class action lawsuit combined thousands of consumer complaints across multiple states, alleging false advertising, deceptive availability claims, and unfair market practices. Plaintiffs cited internal communications obtained through whistleblowers, showing that companies knew consumer supply would be constrained long before products were marketed. One email included in the filing stated, "We will announce availability knowing full well channel fill will be minimal." Defense attorneys argued that shortages were unavoidable and industry-wide. Judges agreed, but not entirely. In one ruling, the magistrate judge criticized the language used in product announcements, writing that reasonable consumers would interpret availability claims as materially misleading under conditions known to the manufacturer. No injunction followed, but the damage was done. Surveys showed trust in hardware manufacturers falling to historic lows among enthusiasts. Brand loyalty, once a cornerstone of GPU culture, eroded rapidly. For the first time, consumers spoke openly about abandoning upgrades altogether. A longtime system builder summarized the sentiment in testimony submitted to a regulatory committee. "We understand shortages. What we don't understand is being treated like we don't matter." Inside corporate offices, that sentiment was acknowledged and dismissed. One internal memo responding to rising complaint volumes concluded that consumer frustration was acceptable collateral in a period of transformational growth. The document ended with a single line underlined twice: "AI customers are the future." For consumers, the message was clear, even if it was never said out loud. We, as the consumers, are no longer the priority in their business. Now, unfortunately, as we close this chapter, the voices of consumers linger. Thousands of emails unanswered, tickets closed without resolution, refunds processed months too late. Their complaints did not stop the AI boom, but they did expose its cost. The AI revolution promised intelligence for everyone, but instead it began with secrecy and a silence that consumers were never meant to hear broken. Thank you all for listening, and don't forget to check out the links down below. The new merch store is open. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the rest of the channel. And thank you. Peace out.